Hello everyone. Welcome for the course Applied Thermodynamics. Myself Sumit Bardia, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sharad Institute of Technology College of Engineering, Yatra. Today we will start first chapter, that is fuels and combustion. In this chapter, focus is on types of fuels and combustion reactions, amount of air required for complete combustion of fuel, air-fuel ratio, enthalpy of reaction, and calorific value of fuels. Today we will cover the following points, that is introduction to fuels, characteristics of an ideal fuel, coal, under coal, classification of coal, liquid fuels and gaseous fuels. Introduction to fuels. A fuel is a simply combustible substance. It burns in the presence of oxygen and releases heat energy. The various types of fuels like liquid, solid and gaseous fuels are available for burning in boilers, furnaces and other combustion equipments. Most fuel contain carbon and hydrogen as main constituents, as they are called hydrocarbon fuels. And designated with the chemical formula CnHm. The hydrocarbon fuels consist of all phases such as coal, a solid fuel, petroleum, a liquid fuel, and natural gas, a gaseous fuel. These fuels are available for burning in boiler, furnaces and other combustion equipments. Each fuel consists of a certain amount of bonded energy in between its constituent elements. This energy is called chemical energy, and it is in the form of internal energy. In combustion, the interactive bonds of the molecules of the fuel and oxygen are broken and rearrangement of atoms in new molecular combination takes place. During this process, the energy is released in the form of heat. Therefore, the combustion is an exothermic chemical reaction. Though during a chemical process, the reacting molecules rearrange themselves after the combustion, but the total number of atoms of each element remain unchanged following the law of conservation of mass. The next slide is about the characteristics of an ideal fuel. The selection of the right type of fuel depends on various factors such as availability, storage, handling, pollution and landed cost. The knowledge of fuel property helps in selecting the right fuel for the right purpose and efficient use of fuel. A good fuel should have the following qualities. First, it should have high heating value. It should be free from moisture and non-combustible matter, that is ash. Its products of combustion should not harmful and pollutant, means it should environment friendly. It should have moderate ignition temperature, because high ignition temperature may cause difficulty in combustion and low ignition temperature may cause fire hazards. It should be easy to transport and store in the minimum space. It should have moderate rate of combustion and controlled combustion. It should have high combustion efficiency. It should give high combustion efficiency. And of course, last one, that is, it should be readily available at low cost. The next category The fuel is very important fuel, that is coal. Coal is the most important solid fuel and its main constituent is carbon. It also contains some amount of oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, moisture and ash. Coal is a mineral substance of vegetable origin. It is result of decay of vegetable matter which accumulated under earth millions of years ago and got transformed by the action of heat and pressure. Its transformation occurs progressively. Classification of coal. Here the list is given. Peat, lignite, bituminous coal, anthracite, wood charcoal, coke, briquettes, pulverized coal. The coal passes through different stages during its formation from vegetation. We will go one by one. First one is peat. It is a spongy humidified substance and the first stage at which the fuel is derived from the wood and vegetable matter. Thus, it possesses constituents very nearest to those of wood with 30% moisture. It has lowest calorific value about 14,500 kilojoule per kg. It is mainly used as a fuel in gas producer plants. Other varieties of coal are derived from peat. The second category, that is lignite. Lignite is found next to peat. It is a soft coal composed mainly of volatile matter and moisture content with low fixed carbon of about 60%. Its appearance is brown and it contains high ash and low heating value. It is a low grade fuel having a calorific value about 21,000 kilojoule per kg. It is too brittle and hence it is converted into briquettes which can be easily handled. It burns with heavy smoke. There are comparatively large deposits of lignite in Kashmir, Neyveli and Rajasthan. Neyveli power plant uses this type of coal. Next is bituminous coal. Its formation is next to lignite. It is shining black in appearance. It contains about 70% carbon and the remaining as a large percentage of volatile matter. Thus it is easy to lignite and it burns with yellow smoky flames. It has an average calorific value of 31,500 kilojoule per kg. In India, its reserves are available in Bihar, MP, West Bengal and Orissa. It is used for producing producer gas. So bituminous is used for producing producer gas. Next is anthracite. It is the next generation of bituminous coal and has the highest rank. It is a hard coal composed of about 90% carbon with little volatile content and practically no moisture. It is brittle and has a shining black luster. It burns without flame and smoke, but it is difficult to ignite. It is non-cracking and it has minimum ash, sulfur, volatile matter and moisture content. It has the highest heating value, approximately 36,000 kilojoule per kg. In India, its reserves are in Kashmir and eastern Himalayas. It is used in steam power plants as a fuel. Next is wood charcoal. It is obtained by heating of wood up to a temperature of 280 degrees Celsius in the absence of atmospheric air. During this process, the volatile matter and water are expelled and the residue is charcoal. It is excellent fuel but very costly. Its calorific value is about 28,000 kilojoule per kg. Next is coke, the well-known fuel, that is coke. It is obtained from bituminous coal by the carbonization process. That is, the bituminous coal is heated strongly in absence of air for 48 hours. Thus, the volatile matter present in the coal is driven off. Coke is dull black in color, hard, brittle, and porous. It consists of 90 to 95% carbon, small quantities of sulfur, hydrogen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. It is smokeless and clear fuel. Its average calorific value is 32,500 kilojoule per kg. It is used in steam power plants, blast furnaces, and gas producers. So that is about coke. Next is briquettes. It is produced from finely grounded low-grade coal by the molding operation. The coal powder is mixed with the suitable binder and pressed together to form blocks or briquettes. The binding material may be pitch, coal tar, crude oil, or clay. By this method, the heating value of low quality fuel is improved. Last one is pulverized coal. Crushed coal in fine powder form is called pulverized coal. During combustion, it floats and thus comes in better contact of air, improving the combustion efficiency. Pulverized coal has a flexibility of control, complete combustion with less excess air, and high flame temperature. Generally, pulverized coal is used in cement industries and in furnaces also. So that is about the solid fuels. We will heading towards the next point, that is liquid fuels. So most liquid hydrocarbon fuels are a mixture of hydrocarbons that are derived from natural petroleum, we are calling as crude oils. Some of these are gasoline, diesel, methanol, kerosene, and fuel oil. Within each classification, there is a variety of grades, and each is the mixture of large number of different hydrocarbons. For convenience, the composition of certain hydrocarbons in a fuel is represented by a single hydrocarbon. For an example, if we take the example of gasoline, a mixture of more than 40 hydrocarbons is treated as octane, diesel as dodecane, and methanol as CS3OH. The light diesel oil, furnace oil, and low sulfur heavy stock are used in industrial applications. So ultimate analysis of liquid fuels is shown in the table here. Here the fuel is listed, that is petrol, commercial petrol, benzol, kerosene, diesel oil, light diesel oil, furnace oil, and residual fuel oil. So see the carbon percentage, hydrogen percentage, sulfur percentage, and ash percentage. So maximum carbon percentage is in residual fuel oil, that is 88.3%. Sorry, here one more, benzol is having higher 91.7 carbon percentage, but the lesser hydrogen content, sulfur 0.3%. So likewise, these are the composition of liquid fuels with respect to carbon, hydrogen, sulfur, and ash. There are lots of advantages of liquid fuels or solid fuels are there. The calorific value is higher of liquid fuels than solid fuel. They can be stored in less space. Their combustion rate can be easily controlled. During its burning, ash formation is almost absent and its burning is clean. They have higher thermal efficiency. They are non-corrosive and light in weight. They are easy to ignite and easy to shutting off operation. Also, a semi-skilled labor can be employed for the liquid fuel. But some disadvantages are also there. Liquid fuels are costly than the solid fuels. Their reserves are limited. higher risk of fire is a hazard, costly containers, and they cannot be burned in the presence of insufficient air. So they need a sufficient air for the combustion purpose. Okay, so that is about liquid fuels. So next is gaseous fuels. Gaseous fuels are chemically simplest among the three groups. The two primary sources of gaseous hydrocarbon fuels are natural gas and chemical and certain chemical manufacturing process. Here the list is provided of the gaseous fuels. We'll go one by one. That is first one, LPG, which is nothing but liquefied petroleum gas. Is mainly a mixture of propane and butane. LPG is a mixture of those hydrocarbons which are in gaseous phase at normal atmospheric pressure, but may be condensed to a liquid state at normal temperature by the application of moderate pressure. So we all know about the LPG we are using in our home, in the kitchen. LPG vapor is denser than air. Butane is about twice as heavy as air, and propane about 1.5 times as heavy as air. The vapor may flow along the ground and into drains, sinking to the lowest level of the surroundings and be ignited at a considerable distance from the source of leakage. The next is natural gas. Natural gas contains methane as the main constituent and the other gases in the small amounts. Natural gas has high calorific value and it burns without smoke. It is lighter than air and disperses into air easily in case of leak. So that is about the natural gas. We all know that. Coal gas, next is coal gas, is obtained by the carbonization process of coal. The quality of coal gas depends on the quality of coal used and the temperature of carbonization. It contains mainly H2CO and various hydrocarbons. Its calorific value is about 22,500 kilojoule per meter cube. It is used in towns for street lighting and domestic lighting purposes. Producer gas. It is obtained by the partial combustion of coal, coke and charcoal in a mixed air stream. Its manufacturing cost is low and it has a calorific value of about 6,500, lower calorific value, kilojoule per meter cube, and it is generally used in the furnaces. Next is water gas. Is a mixture of H2 and CO and is produced by passing steam over the incandescent coke. Blast furnace gas is a byproduct in the production of pig iron in the blast furnace. It is used as fuel in the metallurgical furnaces. Its calorific value is very low, in the order of 3,700 kilojoule per meter cube. And the last one is coke oven gas. Is obtained as a byproduct during the formation of bituminous coal. It is used for industrial heating and power generation application, and its calorific value is about 17,000 kilojoule per meter cube. Carbon monoxide, coal gas, biogas, methane, ethane are the examples of gaseous fuels. What are the advantages of gaseous fuels? The supply of fuel can be easily and accurately controlled. The controlling is very easy and it is free from impurities. Combustion of gaseous fuel is possible with very less excess air. They produce relatively less smoke and pollution. They are capable of attaining very high temperatures. Gaseous fuels are light in weight, transportation is easy. But the disadvantages are it requires large storage and they are very highly flammable and may cause fire hazards. Let's see a short video that I have downloaded from the YouTube, that is World Without Fossil Fuels. If we don't have fossil fuels, what the status of the world that we need to see through this video.
a world without fossil fuels. Fossil fuels have powered the UK for over 400 years and are predictable, reliable sources that supply our energy just when we need it. Today, coal, oil and gas provide 85% of all our energy. But these sources take millions of years to form, and we're using them very quickly. What's more, burning them produces carbon dioxide, so if we continue to burn them, we risk dangerously overheating the Earth. Imagine a world without fossil fuels. Nuclear and renewables are the two remaining options. Today, they provide 14% of all our energy. Nuclear power stations harness energy from splitting atoms to boil water and produce steam. This steam then operates a turbine, which drives a generator to produce electricity. About 7% of our energy is generated from nuclear power today. Nuclear is reliable and predictable, but unlike fossil fuels, it doesn't produce carbon dioxide, so we could continue to use it long into the future. If we build at least 60 large nuclear power stations, we could generate all the energy we need. But nuclear power stations produce radioactive waste that's difficult to store, and it's hard to adjust their supply of power flexibly according to how much we need. In the next animation, we'll explore renewable energy.
Okay, today we will stop here. We will continue with the fuels and combustion in the next lecture. Thank you.